Brendan, how have you and the team spent the break? Has it been productive for you?
Yeah, a little bit of recovery, a little bit of rest, bit of work. Some of the players played in the testimonial game up in Dundee in the first week, so and obviously then been preparing this week. So obviously just you're always hoping and praying all your internationals come back safe and well, and we're really looking forward to getting started again.
Such a hectic schedule up until this point, and now a hectic schedule up until the end of the year. Do these small breaks allow you to take stock of certain things, and maybe in terms of the bigger picture and where you're at in the start to the season?
Yeah. I think if you look at it, was virtually a third of the season gone so far. I've been really pleased. There's always elements where we can be better and improve, and that's something that we focus on, that daily improvement. But over the piece, I've been delighted with the attitude of the players, the mentality, some of the football that we've played, and like I said, we've obviously suffered with injuries to really important players, but the team and the squad has coped really well and produced some fantastic football.
You're just out of the club's AGM, and it feels like a lot of the fans feeling around that opening part of the season is that balance between domestic success and trying to take that next step and succeed in Europe. How do you look back on the opening period with that predicament in mind?
Well, it's always going to be a challenge. It doesn't come into, you don't come into any season here at Celtic and it gets easier. The Champions League is the very highest level of European football, and what you find at that level is the attacking players, the forward players, as good as you'll come across. So that's always a challenge. I think if I look domestically, we clearly should have had 13 out of 13 wins. The two games that we've drawn we could have won, but we didn't. But we learned from them. And I think from a Champions League perspective, I think there's a narrative around, I just sense a little bit around the overall start. But I think the players have been fantastic. In the Champions League, if you take away that second half against Atletico Madrid, the players have been very, very good. The players have been excellent. They've been getting better each performance. Very coordinated. You see the spirit in the team, and in the Champions League and the other games we've been really competitive. Even with Feyenoord, we 9 men. So I understand where we're at. It's a level where you need to have quality, of course, and experience. But experience also comes from gaining experience, and but there's no doubt we want to be stronger going forward over the coming seasons here. That was one of the big drivers to come back.
With that in mind then, during this break, did you get the chance to reassess or think more about what you want or need to do in January?
No, but we always know what we want. I think the plan, when we sat down in the summer, we understood where we were at, and of course some players then move on that you maybe don't expect to. We're also aware of the Asian Cup, so nothing surprises us. We know where we're at. It's just now about the availability, and for me it's now about getting players in that are going to improve us and be better than what we have, and that's something now it's important. We've got a lot of young players that are there to develop and grow, but you also need players for the present, and that's what we look at.
Fans next door hearing Chris Mackay and Michael Nicholson discussing a very healthy financial results for the year, and fans may get ahead of themselves with money to spend or whatnot. But how difficult is that balance for you in terms of making sure the club as a whole is ticking along, but not overspending in January or underspending and whatnot? How difficult a balance is that to strike as a manager?
No, listen, my job here, of course, is to develop the football team, and I want the best football team on the field. But it will always be within the conditions of the club. Every manager will be the same. You strive to get the best quality players in order to improve your performance level. So hopefully we'll be able to do that in our time.
How much importance do you put on the January window in terms of looking ahead to the summer and the Champions League that follows next season, in terms of embedding players and getting players used to your systems and surroundings and whatnot?
Well, it's a difficult window. Of course, there's always quality available, but it's whether it's affordable for us is is the challenge. But in my previous jobs, I've done really good business in January windows when they have been available. So it's something that's been ongoing really through the course of the last few months, looking at the possibilities of players that we might be able to bring in. But I repeat, I don't want to add to the squad. We've got a squad of 32, which we need to bring down, as well as bringing in quality players. But I'm fairly comfortable that come by the summer, over the course of these next few windows, that the squad, both in terms of numbers and quality, will look how I want it to.
Do you expect a sort of decent turnaround in January, players in and out? Obviously there's a few mentions about the squad being too big or whatnot from next door, but how big a level of turnover should fans be expecting come January?
No, listen, there's going to be naturally players that will want to go out and play, and players that will want to move on, and then like I say, we have to see if there's if the players are better than what we have that are available to bring in. So I can't sit here now and give you a number and say what's gone out and what's coming in, but there's always movement.
You spoke about added quality, Brendan, and the floor from the AGM spoke about that as well. What is the challenge in getting players of real quality to Scottish football?
Well, I think, listen, everyone will put the quality down to the number that you pay, but that's not necessarily. I think Virgil van Dijk was 2 million when he came in here, so that was good quality. It's always the challenge, because lots of players may want to play in a more competitive league or one of the renowned leagues, but I think what Celtic offers here is really unique in terms of the opportunity to come and play for a fanatical fan base, to come and develop as a player, to become a winner, to live in a great city. And there's been many players and managers that, whilst they've been here, and it's sometimes only when you are here that you get that real sense of that. So we always work hard, but we want big players to come. This is an incredible club to come and play for, and if you're lucky enough to be able to come here and work and play, you'll get the sense of that. So that's something that's ongoing.
I think one of the comments for the floor was you weren't paying enough for players to bring them to Scotland. You're paying like £2 or £3 million players, but of course it doesn't go that if you bring a player like you've mentioned with Virgil van Dijk, that they can't go into bigger and better things.
No, absolutely. I think everyone thinks that if you pay £9-10 million that guarantees you the quality. It's not always the case, but there are certain levels that if a player is there, that you want to be able to do that. So that's something that we look at.
Have you got players who are ready to come either in January or next summer?
It's constant, and we'll tell you, Ronnie, as soon as they're in the door, not before it.
In terms of this weekend, how did your players come back from international duty?
Well, we're still waiting. Yeah, we're still waiting on some to come back. So Lewis Palmer and Ali Johnson won't be back until Friday. So, but the other guys have come back well. Obviously, the guys that played domestically and for Scotland, fine, and the others, yeah, fine. So nothing injury wise at this moment in time to report.
What's your thoughts on Muddle this season? Started well, but they're struggling of late.
Yeah, I just think it's the league. There's a number of teams in that sort of position. I think we had a really good game against them, and Stuart's an excellent young coach who's developing the style there. And like I said, I thought when I seen them play, they were very well coached, and they worked very hard. So for us, we will give them that respect. We come back after an international break. We have to very quickly get the team synchronised again, and start off where we left off in our last home game. So, but we'll prepare for a tough game, but our focus very much on working how we want to.
What does that Friday return do for Lewis Palmer, Alistair Johnson? Ruled out over the weekend, or just a wait and see?
Just assess and see how they are.
Michael was mentioning that there's the VAR meeting tomorrow. Is that something you get to attend? Are you going to go along to that? Or is it?
We can do. We have representatives from the club that will be there. Unfortunately for us, it's within our training schedule and timing. So they'll represent the club there. So I think it's a year where they'll assess it and look at it. I've been seeing it for a few more years down south, but yeah, it's something that I'll focus on the football.
Has there been pointers that you've maybe wanted to relay to that meeting? And just
I think it's been ongoing.
Terms, yeah,
I think it's been ongoing. We have good dialogue here at the club, and the views that get represented from Michael and Chris that will go will be representative of what we think.